Hi, I'm Alicia Butler-Pierre, and in this season of the Business Infrastructure Podcast, we are touring 12 different countries to figure out what's it like to do business in each of those countries. Coming up next on our tour is my personal favorite country in the world, Mexico. But before we get into that, make sure you subscribe by clicking on that button down below and click the notification bell so that you'll know exactly when the next episode airs. Now, let's figure out what's it like to really do business in Mexico.
Oh, we're starting to feel the effects of these long flights. We're halfway through a 17-hour flight from Krakow, Poland to Mexico City, Mexico. I'm especially excited about this trip because it marks my fourth time to this beautiful country, a country that I hope to one day call home. I'm Alicia Butler-Pierre, and this is Season 18 of the Business Infrastructure Podcast, the show where we share operational tips, tactics, and tools for curing back-office blues. And today, you're about to discover things about Mexico that you probably didn't know. Things that may entice you to want to do business there. This is a country steeped in culture, food, arts, entertainment, architecture, technology, agriculture, and so much more. It's no wonder its citizens proudly proclaim, "Viva la Mexico!" This episode is underwritten by Equilibria Incorporated, the company behind this podcast, where we design scale-ready business infrastructure for fast-growing small businesses. As we make our final descent into Mexico City, the sheer size of this metropolis is breathtaking. This is currently the 5th most populated city in the world. Think about that. And with that kind of population, opportunities abound. And here to teach us how we can tap into those opportunities is Sofia Benedicto. She's waiting for us in the baggage claim area at the airport. And from there, we have about a 1-hour drive to her grandmother's or abuela's house. This is where we'll meet to enjoy some good food and some good conversation in the process. This is episode 229, Doing Business in Mexico with Sofia Benedicto.
Hola. My name is Sofia Isabel Benedicto. I am actually at my grandma's house in Cuernavaca. This is my hometown. Cuernavaca is a kind of small but not so small city, an hour away from Mexico City. And this is where I was born and raised. And then I moved to Mexico City, which is where I'm currently living.
Ciudad de Mexico, or Mexico City, has a special place in my heart. It was the first country I ever visited and the first time I ever flew. Hard to believe that was 30 years ago. That was back in 1993, and at the time, Ciudad de Mexico was the 3rd largest city in the world. Today, it ranks at number 5 with a population of 21 million people.
And it's also now been given itself a new air of like one of the biggest tech hubs worldwide. A lot of people have been moving from other countries to Mexico City.
What's it like being in such a large city that's also one of the world's tech hubs?
Well, it's funny because I actually live 2 blocks away from the Ángel of Independence, which is like in the main street nearby the financial district of Mexico City. So I don't live that much of a traffic life because I walk a lot around that area. But if you live in the south side of the city and then you have to go working through the centric zone or the north, it's kind of a mess. You live practically half of your life in your car. But if you walk and you manage to ride a bike or ride other sorts of transportation, it's very enjoyable. It's a city with such rich culture. There's always something to do, kind of like New York, but Mexican. And there's always a concert, a movie, a theater that you can go visit. There's a lot of also party, a lot of music, and a lot of nature.
With such a rich culture right at her fingertips, I was curious about Sofia's educational background. I noticed she has a degree in social communication, which I find intriguing.
So I studied at a public university in Mexico City. This university opened its doors in 73. So it was like a crucial moment in Mexico and worldwide, actually. And a lot of the careers they have are centered on solving social issues. So it has like a sociological focus. This university actually is one of the top 10 universities in Mexico, and it's public. So I literally paid like $50, I think, for all my career to the university.
Oh, wow.
And it's a really good college, and you have really good professors, and I really enjoyed it. And then I licensed with a thesis on collective networks and social movements. Back in 2018, when was the presidential elections, there was an indigenous woman that ran for independent candidate for presidency. She's called Maria de Jesus Patricio, Mari Chuy. And so I made my thesis about how collective networks and social movements can make an impact in other people's lives and make like not only small changes, but like huge differences in terms of how we connect with people to make the world a better place in like large terms.
Sofia's thesis on Maria de Jesus's campaign served as a foundation for a future career at the intersection of politics and business.
So it was a very special moment for me. We made analysis on how media, like traditional media and emerging media, reported the Mari Chuy campaign and how did they report like the other candidates. And it was actually quite interesting because obviously Mari Chuy being a woman of color, an indigenous woman, and an independent candidate without any party backing her up, but the people like the Zapatistas, the indigenous movement of the country was with her, and all the social movements also were with her. So she moved a lot of people. And actually what I liked the most about this campaign and my thesis was that she only was a spokesperson of the movement, and she knew she wasn't going to win the election, but she made like a national tour.
That national tour was cut short, unfortunately, when Maria was in a suspicious car accident.
I hope you enjoyed watching this video. You can catch the full interview by going to businessinfrastructure.tv or by clicking the link below in the description box. Don't forget to subscribe so that you'll know exactly when the next episode drops. See you in the next video.
Join us next week for another episode of Business Infrastructure with Alicia Butler-Pierre.